The 2017 World Champion Ryota posted a team right as soon as Regulation H was announced, and it did feature a Hisuian Decidueye with Rain. We're going to be trying out this team and seeing how well it can perform. This is Ryota's Rain Hisuian Decidueye team. We have the Rain mode that seems really strong in the format with a lot of the electric types gone, such as Raging Bolt and Iron Hand. So Pelipper does feel really strong right now with the Weather Ball Hurricane, able to do a lot of damage. Tailwind support as always, and then protect here. With Basculegion, able to do a lot of damage with that Swift Swim and doesn't have to worry about things like Thunderclap. It's really nice, able to go for really strong damage output with the Wave Crash. And then the last respects, that's a really strong cleanup mode, especially with that Terraghost powering it up even further. The Overquill, another strong Swift Swim abuser that's able to take advantage, giving it ×2 in the rain alongside Basculegion. We have the Terra Normal Self-Destruct play, which is nice because you do have two ghost types on this team with Golden Go and Basculegion. So you could lead, for instance, Pelipper Overquill, or Overquill really anything in general. And then you could switch to your ghost types as necessary. You have the Protect play that you can offer with the Pelipper. And of course, if you do lead a ghost type next to Overquill, you can go for that Terra Normal Self-Destruct and the follow-up move from there. It's able to do huge amounts of damage with that Choice Band. The Gunk Shot able to help out against Rillaboom, which do threaten the Basculegion. The Crunch is very nice, being a dark type, really good against the psychic types that are available out there, especially Size Band picking up recently. Liquidation for the water coverage to help out against Incineroar as well. And Self-Destruct as a boom mode. We have the Choice Specs Golden Go, able to do a lot of damage and pairs well with the Pelipper with that speed control from Tailwind, allowing Golden Go to be even faster. The Terra Steel Make It Rain, hard to switch into. It's just so strong red move wise. And of course, just good bulk with the Rain weakening the fire type moves out there. We have a Moongus that's able to help out against Trick Room teams, and Clear Smog to help against any setups, which is really nice in general. Spore is always nice. Pollen Puff to heal up. The Golden Go and other supports just seems like really strong redirection support for an offense team and to help out against Trick Room. Now, why Hisuian Decidueye is the last slot? Hisuian Decidueye is a really cool Pokemon here. We have Scrappy as the ability, which did get boosted in Gen 8 with a buff, and it does prevent Intimidate from affecting Decidueye, which is really nice, so you don't have to worry about Intimidate drops. But also a big benefit here is that you are immune to ghost types being immune to your fighting type moves. So you can actually hit your ghost types out there with fighting moves. And that's actually pretty important because one of the Pokemon that seem really popular in the format is going to be Golden Go, which is a Pokemon that is immune to fighting moves normally because it is a ghost type. But with Scrappy, you do hit the Golden Go. And since you ignore the ghost immunity, Golden Go is a steel type, you can go for super effective fighting moves to hit Golden Go that way. So it's one of the few limited fighting types out in the format and is able to dish out quite a bit to Golden Go, which seems like a huge plus. You have the Assault Vest that's able to help tank attacks better with the Terra Steel to help out, get rid of that 4x flying weakness, help resist Make It Rain, helps out a bit against Archaludon, resist the Dragon type moves and the Steel type moves. Just seems like a really great combination with Leaf Blade, Triple Arrows, which has some crazy side effects. The move has a chance to flinch, the move has a chance to lower the defense, and has a chance to crit, higher chance to crit. Absolutely insane for a one-hit move. Absolutely ridiculous. Sucker Punch for a priority, and then Brave Bird that can hit other grass types, which seems really solid. If you'd like to check out the details of the team and the original creator, they'll be linked in the description down below. Volcarona, Meowscarada, Dondozo, Glimmora with the Ninetales and Excalibur. Man, I'm so used to Tinglu Dondozo, I kind of sometimes forget that Dondozo next to Glimmora was a thing in the past. Alright, Snow is weird. They have 3 Pokemon that don't really like my Golden Go. Make It Rain is really effective here, but they do have some hate for it, which is the Volcarona and the Meowscarada. Mainly going to be the the Volcarona, I would say. Earth Power on the Glimmora is also pretty scary to handle, so gotta be careful. I kind of like the idea. Do I want to? They do have double ice types, which is a bit concerning. I want to bring Overquill into this. Basculegion is not bad either because Last Respect is pretty strong, but this mon's really good into Meowscarada. I do like Overquill quite a bit here. I actually like Overquill, and I like the Hisuian Decidueye, because I think this can cover a few options that I'm thinking. Pelipper and Golden Go. There's no really like reason to fear the toxic spikes, because the only reason is like Decidueye, but my switches will be okay. Vasculation was a bit weird in this matchup, where it's good against Volcarona. Last Respect can be threatening, but Meowscarada is a threat if it's Focus Sash and has the Sucker Punch option. Dondozo is really hard to beat for it. But we are going to see actually the Meowscarada and the Volcarona lead. Okay. Which... I could go Pelipper, but I don't know if this is U-turn. I think I'm just going to go for a Gunk Shot into the Volcarona, because Volcarona is super threatened here. And then maybe just go for a triple arrows into the Meowscarada. I could be going down, because this could be like knockoff plus a fire move, but I feel like most Volcaronas aren't exactly super offensive. I think I'm okay with just trying to get attacks off. Let's see if they actually have an option for Overquill. They also have to be pretty fast on the Volcarona. We're going to see Volcarona go for the Terra. Going to be the Terra Water. All right. They were probably scared of like a potential liquidation that I could have done switch to Pelipper, which is fair. They should be targeting Decidueye then. They go for a knockoff actually into my Overquill. All right, that makes sense. Gets rid of my choice band, so I won't be able to Oko the Volcarona. Miss is kind of bad. Miss is kind of bad. Tailwind. All right. Tailwind is acceptable. I do get a big triple arrows off into the Meowscarada. Brings it to Focus Sash. Okay. Not terrible, not great. Defense fall, not that big of a deal. I think now I just go for... I need the damage on Volcarona, so I think I actually still go for a Gunk Shot regardless. The question is, do I Sucker Punch? Because I don't want my Solvest to get knocked off. I could also go Pelipper and Leaf Blade. I'm a little bit worried though, because then Ninetales is invited, and Ninetales is not fun to switch into. Is that worth it? Because it might be. I think it might be. Because I could see myself going Pelipper and then into Golden Go afterward. And Sucker Punching the Meowscarada as a surprise. You know what? I am going to Leaf Blade. Let's do a Leaf Blade play. Tailwind? Should be Heat Wave. Get the rain up. Flower Trick. Beautiful. So that's better than no knockoff. Wait, that did way more than expected. I guess it's Overgrow, but still, that did more than expected. Overheat with the rain and the Solvest. Come on, Decidueye. Clutch. Get the KO. I didn't get the KO. That's a bad burn. I could have Sucker Punched the Decidueye, the Meowscarada. Okay. Not idea, not idea, not idea. I hope they don't expect a Sucker Punch, because I was hoping I could Sucker Punch guaranteed this turn, and I think I can. That's not super ideal, but I think I'm going to go Overquill, and I'm going to Sucker Punch the Meowscarada, because they might try to do the Ninetales play for Volcarona and reset the stat drops, especially if they don't know about the Decidueye having Sucker Punch. They do swap out the Volcarona. I'm hoping that the Meowscarada attempts to go for like a Flower Trick or something, because then Decidueye goes down thanks to the burn, I guess. I get a free switch to Pelipper or Golden Go, and both are in bad positions. All right. Back into Overquill. Nice. That's a huge Sucker Punch into Meowscarada. Goodbye, Meowscarada. Absolutely big knockout. And now, Decidueye, you have done a great job getting rid of that threat. Is massive. But now we can go out into our Golden Go. We threaten a very powerful Make It Rain. And if they go Volcarona, we go Pelipper for the other slot. If they go Baxcalibur, we're in still really good shape. So I'm pretty sure I have a really good chance of winning this game, because Pelipper is super safe here. Go for the Make It Rain. I don't have to Terra. No real big reason to Terra. Make It Rain pins so we can Volcarona in the back, so if they do want to swap, that's okay. Because they sack the Volcarona, which means they can't get like a really strong hit off with the overheat. into my Golden Go. Pelipper will get rid of the snow, and I'm getting rid of the weather because I do not want a Roar Veil setup in case Excalibur can survive the attack. Excalibur goes for Protect, super ideal. They went for Icy Wind for speed control. That makes sense. Okay. All right, beautiful. And Make It Rain will KO the Ninetales. All right. The rest is gonna come down to, I think we should be safe because we have the rain set up. Tailwind expires on their side. It really depends on the Excalibur, but Protect makes it less likely. Like, I was fearing like an Assault Vest ground type move like Earthquake, but now I can go for... I always want to take the KO, I think, on Volcarona. So I'm going to go for Hurricane. I'm going to swap into Overquill. The reason is I'm not risking Overheat crit right here. So Overquill could outspeed and KO the Volcarona, but that's all it really does. If they Protect, it's fine. They go for Ice Ghost Spear into the Pelipper, and that's acceptable. It looks like it's probably loaded dice, and if it's loaded dice, that's pretty good for me. And they're probably, unless they Tailwind here, they could Tailwind. Did they Tailwind? Ooh, all right. I was worried that they were going for the double up into the gold there. All right, I guess the game's not over yet. If they can KO with the double up, we're gonna go for Make It Rain, and we're gonna go for a Gunk Shot. Not much we can do. I was worried about Ice Go Crash. Wait, they didn't Protect. Or they didn't Protect the backs, and they didn't double up my gold. I thought they were always double up the gold here. Because Make It Rain is the threat. Should have Terra Steeled, I suppose. I guess Terra Normal didn't do anything for me. I should have always Terra Steeled. I was trying to bait the Overheat from earlier. Ooh, Struggle Bug. His choice. If I lose this because that extra Struggle Bug damage does change the calc and I don't KO. Okay, I just KO'd because I am choice specs. I was about to say they were really low on the Volcarona. Volcarona is decent Spadaf, but like just so low on HP. Excalibur I knew was probably going down. Since it wasn't Assault Vest, we are able to take the knockdown bulk, but I probably should have Terra Steeled now that I think about it, because the Terra Normal was I wasn't going to use it on the Overquill. So that was like the big mistake there. Missing the Gunk Shot did allow the Volcarona to survive, but I do think I played a decent endgame because I had the Sucker Punch option. That Sucker Punch was absolutely huge. Being able to get Stat Meowscarada before I didn't think it was doing that much damage to Flower Trick. Wow, that month's crazy. But the Decidueye was able to hang on with the range support. Pelipper, Basculegion, Archaludon, Rillaboom, Blood Moon, Ursaluna, and Incineroar. No Trick Room for Blood Moon Ursaluna, so that is something. Okay. They do have Basculegion, and it really depends on their Terra type. I do have Overquill, which is pretty effective if their Basculegion is not Jolly nature. So I do like Overquill a lot to handle the Basculegion. I think Overquill is pretty strong. I like the Golden Go is a pretty strong support mon here because of Shadow Ball, able to put on a lot of pressure. Switching to Blood Moon Hyper Voice is always great. I think I do want to bring Blood Moon. I want to bring Pelipper is the question because Tailwind is nice, but it's not necessary. I do want Decidueye for sure. It's good into Blood Moon. Can do some work against Archaludon. The only problem is I just don't know what I want to do against their Incineroar and Pelipper. Those are two really big threats. I kind of like Amoonguss, but at the same time, it can be pretty dicey, I think, if I bring Amoonguss. It's a decent pivot mon. It's just I'm a little bit worried about switching to Pelipper Hurricane anyway. Having a sash on the Pelipper could be helpful here. I think I'm bringing my own Pelipper because I can also put on more offensive pressure against the Incineroar, which I kind of like. Having more offensive pressure against Incineroar is just always really helpful. So let's see. It also can punish the Blood Moon a little bit if I don't want to switch into gold. And having a switch into a ground type move is always solid. Like my switches to grounds are really good. We're going to see the Archaludon and the Pelipper lead against my Overquill and Golden Go. Okay, so we have a few things to keep in mind here. I could go for a crunch and Shadow Ball, and a double up would pick up a knockout on both of these Pokemon. I do think that I want to respect the Pelipper more because Pelipper is a big threat. So I think I'm going to double up the Pelipper slot because I really don't want to switch into Hurricanes in the future. Crunch going to come out into the Pelipper, and a Shadow Ball going to be able to combo into the Pelipper, get rid of the Pelipper. So goodbye, Jonathan the Pelipper. You have gone down. Let's see if I'm probably just going to go for an Electro Shot. Yep, in the rain. Able to ignore the charge time and fire off a strong hit. Golden Go will survive one. Overquill, I think it depends heavily on the Arcalodon. It doesn't have great speed depth though. So, oh, but 1 HP. Very nice. Very, very nice. As we are going to see who is coming in. That is going to be Basculegion. Now, Overquill is faster than Basculegion. So, you know what? I am willing to go for a Crunch here, and I'm willing to fire off a Shadow Ball. The Basculegion would have to be, what, Terra Fairy here? Yeah, it had to be Terra Fairy. I don't really have good switch-ins to Basculegion either, so I'd rather just risk it here. And if they don't... Well, if they don't Terra, it would have been great. But let's see what Terra you are, because he did decide to Terra. Basculegion going to Terra into the water typing. Okay, so you're still taking a lot of damage from Crunch. Unless you're going for Aqua Jet, which is okay. Crunch going to come out into Basculegion. Really good amounts of damage. Puts into Sucker Punch range. Or Wave Crash might KO it. Let's see. Wave Crash does knock out my Golden Go. It was a really powerful Wave Crash after all. How much? Okay, Basculegion does go down. So, it's kind of a weird trade-off here. We do get rid of Basculegion, but now we have a +2 Arcalodon we are staring down because, yep, it is going to Electro Shot once again and take the knockout into my Overquill. I guess I could have went Pelipper. Pelipper could have been a decent switch, but I didn't know if they were going to Aqua Jet confirm here. But we are going to see Electro Shot pick up the knockout into the Overquill, so Overquill will go down. And now it's going to heavily depend on my Pelipper and my Decidueye to clean up this end game. And Terra wise, I'm not sure. It might actually be my... I don't know. Depends on who they're bringing out now. That is a Rillaboom. Okay. I think speed tiers are going to be pretty crucial. I don't know who you're going to go for fake out. That's a really big question. I don't know if you're going to fake out the Pelipper or if you're going to fake out the Decidueye here. I think my best play is just to go for the Tailwind. I have no clue who you target. I think I'm going to Tailwind, and I think I'm going to just go for a raw triple arrows into the Arcalodon. They go for fake out. They target the Decidueye. I don't know if they targeted down the Pelipper or they're targeting down the Decidueye. The Electro Shot, that means it's in the Pelipper. Okay, I think I it's a weird trade-off here. The Electro Shot brings me down to Focus Sash. I have Terra with Decidueye, which is the big part here. So I'm going to have to Terra. I kind of have to guess right on this Arcalodon move, but I think it's okay. I'm going for the triple arrows into the Arcalodon. I got Tailwind up, so now I'm like confirmed to be faster than the Arcalodon, which I kind of needed with Decidueye because Decidueye is necessary. I'm going to go for the Terra Steel to resist a Draco Meteor. It's +3. With Terra Steel and Assault Vest, I'm hoping to tank the attacks, and let's see what we can accomplish. We will protect our Pelipper because I think this should be Grassy Glide into the Pelipper slot. Yep, okay, perfect. It's just going to come down to our Arcalodon and how much damage it does. Here comes triple arrows. If we get a flinch would be nice. Stamina boost. Okay. We had a chance for a crit and a flinch. If any of those happens, I felt like we were good. We could still lose this end game, but it's very It's much better for us right now. I'll just say that. We're going for Hurricane. No Grassy Glide from the Rillaboom. That's insane. They went down to the Hurricane. That's not a Assault Vest on the Rillaboom because it's most likely a Assault Vest on their Caledon, but we didn't actually know that because we never attacked it. Triple Arrows is going to be fired off into our Caledon, and Decidueye snags a win. I have no idea because really what I was trying to lock in was as long as they didn't Electro Shot to Decidueye, they went for Draco Meteor Flash Cannon. I was just hoping the Assault Vest Decidueye could take the attack, could maybe take a Grassy Glide as well, finish off our Caledon, and then like Rillaboom will deal with it as we play along. So okay. Got a little bit scared there. Got a little bit scary, but looks like it did pay off. All right, we have a Scare Team Palafin, Amoonguss, Incineroar, Dragapult, our Caledon, and the Pelipper. Now, Rain is scary. They have a lot of options here. Sucker Punch, I don't think KO's Dragapult, unfortunately. That would have been really nice if Sucker Punch could just OHKO the Dragapult. Unfortunately, I don't think that's going to be the case. Let's see. I kind of like... Let's see. I like Amoonguss. I like Decidueye quite a bit here. And I think in the... Because I think I could go for like some Spore plays, which seem pretty strong. I can also switch into like Hurricane stuff. I do have my... I do have Overcoat, which is nice against our Caledon or against Dragapult. I could also do Basculation plays. Basculation plus Pelipper might not be a bad endgame in this matchup. Yeah, I do like the idea of this. There is no Golden Go though, which does concern me because it does hurt against the Arcalon, yet I think I could probably play around our Caledon. I'm trying to play around the Palafin, Dragapult, and Arcalon, but also Pelipper is a big threat to this team as well. So there's a lot of threats. I think the odds that I'm giving myself have some of the best ones, mainly because I'm worried about bringing Golden Go. I'd be forced to Terra it most likely, unless I lead it next to Amoonguss. We're going to see Dragapult plus Palafin, which I don't think is a bad lead for me here. Okay. So Palafin probably going to switch out unless this is Taunt. I kind of like the idea of going for a Spore into... I want to Spore into Dragapult, or do I want to Spore into Palafin? I think I'd rather Spore into Dragapult, and I actually want to go for a Sucker Punch into the Dragapult. I don't think support is very common. I could see like Palafin pivoting into like a Amoonguss, for instance. We are going to see a swap from the Palafin. It is going to be out into... Who is this coming out? Or Caledon. Okay. Could have Spored that slot. Would have been ideal. We're going to see a Terra come out immediately. That's not something I anticipated. All right, Terra from the Dragapult. Going to be the Terra Dragon. Is this for Dragon Darts? I guess. All right. Not what I've anticipated. Sucker Punch going to come out into the Dragapult. And we're going to see Draco Meteor, Terra Dragon into the Amoonguss. No, wait. This did nothing that would KO me. All right. I did not think that was going to KO me. All right. That changes the game a bit. I'm going to go Pelipper now. And I think I want to try to get a Tailwind up. Was not expecting that whatsoever. I am going to set up my Tailwind, and I am going to triple arrows threaten the Arcalon in case Dragapult decides to switch out. Holy cow, was not expecting the Choice Specs Terra Dragon Draco Meteor, it looks like. We are going to see the Dragapult retreat, which is nice because I did target our Caledon now. Gonna be... Is that Palafin back in? No, Pelipper. Okay, that works. Yeah, because I can double up the Pelipper the next turn, which is nice. Okay. So I am able to get a triple arrows off into the Caledon. We have some secondary effects that could happen, like the defense drop, which is nice. Stamina boost. Electroshot is fired off though. Okay, that's perfectly acceptable. Nice. I think I gotta read if Pelipper decides to attack or protect. I think that's gonna be a really crucial moment because Pelipper with Focus Sash is kind of weird here. Hurricane will KO the Pelipper. I think I do need a Hurricane. I do always Hurricane to Pelipper. That's always confirmed. What am I doing with you is my question. Do I ever Terra? Because I could Terra to avoid Hurricane, but I don't want the matching Tailwind. I think I just go for triple arrows into Pelipper. No, I Leaf Blade because it covers a lot of their potential Terra options. Okay, no Protect is really good. So I am able to take the knockout to Pelipper, it looks like. So that's a really good knockout right there because Pelipper was a massive threat to my team. Okay. Let's see. Dragon Pulse is going to be fired off into the Decidueye. I don't know if we live Jet Punch. That's my problem. Palafin comes in. It's tricky. I do think that Weather Ball KOs our Caledon at the range, which I am going to go for. I'm going to go for the Weather Ball into that slot, and I am going to Leaf Blade the Palafin. If Jet Punch KOs, the correct place to Sucker Punch for the chip. But I think it's worth it. Let's see. A lot of this is just going to come down to can Basculegion clean up. They protect actually with Palafin, which is really good for me. I'll gladly take that because they gave me a Weather Ball into our Caledon. Our Caledon doesn't have the best Medef in the world. I think this KO. Oh, it did not KO. Okay. But who did they target? That's also another good question. Gonna be Dragon Pulse once again. Okay. Which I do survive. This shouldn't be too bad, I think. It's our last turn of Tailwind. I think this is manageable though. I think we always Sucker Punch here. Do I KO with Sucker Punch? I think I do. It's only +1 defense. So I Sucker Punch the Arcaladon to take the knockout in Arcaladon. Yeah, perfect. It doesn't matter who they Jet Punch because I get free damage into the Palafin. We have 1 turn of Rain, which is important for Last Respect. And I think we should have the Sealed now that I think about it. Might be close. Hurricane gonna come out into Palafin. Good damage, not a knockout, but that's acceptable. We go out into Basculegion. We have 1 turn of Tailwind left, or not Tailwind, but Rain. So Last Respect, we are guaranteed to outspeed and KO the Dragapult. So we go for the Hurricane into you, and we're actually going to go for the Terra. Oh, wait, we're Terra Ghost. Well, if it's Choice Specs, I don't think you're Sucker Punch. So I guess it doesn't change anything. I'm going for Last Respect into the Dragapult. We do see Jet Punch take the knockout on Pelipper, which makes sense. So Pelipper will go down. Last Respect, more powered up to a 200 base power KO the Dragapult. And now Rain is going to be gone. Let's see. Can Basculegion beat the Palafin? It's going to depend on A, how fast is this Palafin? Because Basculegion could outspeed if this Palafin isn't speedy. And it did look pretty bulky. To take a Hurricane, you need quite a bit of bulk. Last Respect should always get the KO. We do outspeed. We do get the KO. Beautiful. Oh, I thought after that turn on Draco Meteor, it looked bad. I actually think even though the protect on the Palafin did work for my opponent, it also helped me a bit because of the fact that I was able to position that Sucker Punch, get the chip damage I need to Palafin, just in case for the Last Respect. And then like just being able to have enough rain turns to force in the Dragapult and pick up that knockout was so huge. Oh. That was too close. Golden Go, Sylveon with Incineroar, the Hisuian Braviary, Indian Gallade. Alright, you want to assume this is probably some strategy that involves the expanding forest with the... I know Hisuian Braviary does get access to it. I do really like Overqwil. It's really strong against most of their teams, so I do want to bring it. I do want to bring my own Golden Go, which is pretty good. I think I have Pelipper because I need a way to help out against Incineroar. I wish I had Wide Guard. It would be very helpful here, but it's all right. And then I think Decidueye is the last. Because I do have Terra Steel, and the fact that this is one of the better mods in the Golden Go, I think is pretty good. Basculegion could have definitely put in some work, but It really just depends. We'll see. I think I could catch him off guard with a Terra Steel on the Decidueye, and with the Assault Vest we'll be able to take attacks. It's one of another good answer to Incineroar, as well as the Sylveon potentially with the Terra Steel option, as I said, as long as it's not Mystical Fire, which I guess it could be, but we do have the rain to negate it. Or is it Mystical Fire? Yeah, it is Mystical Fire. We are going to see the Hisuian Braviary Incineroar lead. Okay, versus my Golden Go and Overquill. So Intimidate going to be fired off. Completely okay. The Braviary is super threatened. Probably wants to switch out. And Expanding Force doesn't do anything here for them. I think my best place probably to switch out to Overquill and the Pelipper. You go Entity here? I'm just a bit worried if we go Entity here. I definitely want to go Pelipper for this slot. The question is, what am I doing with you, Golden Go? Am I Shadow Balling or am I going for Make It Rain? I think I want to go for a Make It Rain because I want to cover for a swap. Overkill swaps out first. Wait, does Hisuian Braviary get access to Trick Room? I actually have no idea. Pelipper will be in with the Drizzle. I might have made a mistake. I don't remember this thing gets Trick Room. Okay, it protects. That works out perfectly. All right. Make It Rain. I'm guessing this is knockoff in the gold, which would be helpful actually. Make It Rain does some pretty good damage. Do the Incineroar. Knockoff. Yep, perfect. Okay. I am able to hang on. I do have my choice specs removed. This is probably, I'd say you don't want to risk your Incineroar here. Entity plus a Terra on the Braviary for the damage, I think makes sense to me. I'm going to go for Shadow Ball, Weather Ball. Should do a lot of damage to Braviary. Braviary doesn't have the best defenses if I remember right. I feel like Weather Ball and Shadow Ball, even at -1, should still do a ton of damage. So my goal is to just put on a lot of pressure against the Braviary now because that mon does need some respecting here. I guess I could have also doubled out into Overquill too. Like Overquill wouldn't have been a bad play. But I think that this is pretty manageable. Because even if they go Entity, I'm trying to think of the lines. If I KO the Braviary, works out pretty well. We do see the Entity, the Incineroar swap out here. Is that Entity? I have a feeling it's Entity. Yep, perfect. Trying to think about what I do because they probably get Trick Room up the next turn, but it should be acceptable. We do see a Terra come out here. Is this the Terra on the Hisuian Braviary gonna be Psychic? Yep, exactly as anticipated. Okay, perfect. Now let's see, because I could have been very heavily punished, or I had a very safe play of just going out into the Overquill here. Shadow Ball does so much damage. Yeah, Weather Ball is definitely KOing, but unfortunately the Braviary is faster than my Pelipper. Yet I think it's probably all right because even if that's the case, they Terra with the Braviary, so the Braviary they don't have Terra anymore, and now I get Overquill in, and then Overquill does threaten a heavy amount of damage. The Weather Ball will come out into the Braviary, pick up the knockout. Beautiful. And then I think Overquill Crunch prevents any Trick Room. I guess if it's Gallade, it gets a bit weird. Actually, no, if it's Gallade, it should be fine because I do have Hurricane on the Pelipper. So we go out into Overquill. And this is a... yeah, Gallade. Okay, perfect. All right, we click Crunch and we click Hurricane. Unless Gallade is either faster, has Shadow Sneak, or outspeeds my Pelipper, we should be in a pretty safe spot to click Crunch. All of me is going to come out from the Entity. Crunch will come out into the Entity. Just pick up that knockout. Beautiful. Goodbye, Entity. Excellent. And Hurricane should pick up the knockout Gallade. It's a very powerful Hurricane. Ooh, it hanged on. A Sacred Sworded. Okay. Doesn't even KO the Overquill. All right, game over for my opponent. I don't need my Terra anymore. Yeah, I don't need my Terra. I don't need my Terra on my Decidueye. If they Trick Room, it actually would have been a thing. I guess they might not have Trick Room either. But yeah, now I go for a Terra Grass, Weather Ball into Incineroar. The reason I'm going for the Terra Grass is because I'll be grounded thanks to this the Terra getting rid of my flying typing, and then I can actually hit the Incineroar with that Weather Ball, being immune to the Fake Out because of the Psychic Terrain that I can take advantage of by losing my flying type, and I can go for the Crunch and the Gallade. So I should be always picking up a knockout here regardless. 2 knockouts or 1. So Terra Grass Pelipper, get rid of that flying typing. We now take advantage of that Psychic Terrain. Now, unless this is like max speed on the Incineroar, we should be pretty safe here. Yep, they fake out my Pelipper slot, which was Psychic Terrain, and then we go for the Crunch, pick up the knockout on Gallade. Goodbye Gallade, and Weather Ball will take the knockout to Incin. Awesome. All right, so other than maybe there was an angle where I could have maybe went into Overquill instead of losing the Golden Go and like take so much damage on my Pelipper like that, it still ended up working, although that position was scary. The fact that the Gallade survived the modest hurricane actually did surprise me a lot there. Maybe I should have, yeah, that was potentially scary, but luckily they went for a Sacred Sword. But even then, like the next turn, what did they do? They had to double the Overquill because I survived, and if they double the Overquill, that means I gotta knock out a Pelipper, and then I just gotta finish off the Incineroar most likely, or the Gallade falling, because if they had to use 2 moves to take the knockout into my Overquill, then I felt like I had a pretty safe, because those Pokemon don't run spread moves normally, and unless they either had a surprise spread move, which I don't know if Gallade really does have access to one, or a surprise protect on one of those Pokemon, mainly Incineroar. I think I'd Weather Ball the Incineroar in that position, and Crunch to Gallade the next turn, and I would have been okay. Amoonguss, Pelipper, Salamence, Kingambit, Ludicolo, Archaludon. All right, double flying is not really great for Decidueye, but Decidueye is so good against the rest of the team that I think I just have to bring it. Golden Go is helpful. I gotta watch out for the Kingambit. There's quite a few mods that could be scary here, but I do like probably Archaludon's really scary too. I think I like the Overquill is pretty strong overall. For damage output, Overquill is pretty good. I like Golden Go. It dishes out quite a bit of damage. I like the Decidueye if possible, and then I think I bring my Pelipper, because having a Focus Sash is nice, and having Tail and Speed Control. Amoonguss could be helpful, but there is double flying, as I mentioned before, which is super scary. So I think Pelipper is just better, as well as if I need an offensive option for the flying types, I think it's pretty ideal to have like a strong Hurricane. So let's see. I could always tear the Decidueye too, so it's not like awful. I would like to go to Kingambit, but we're gonna see Pelipper and Archaludon, which I'll take as a lead. Yeah. So this is pretty acceptable for me. I can go for a double up into either slot and probably pick up a knockout. The question is, which slot do I want to pick up the knockout on? Crunch and a Shadow Ball picks up a knockout on both. Do I think this is Timid Pelipper as well is also another one, because if it's Timid Pelipper, that changes up some speed tiers. I think I want to get rid of the Pelipper. I just think Pelipper is always going to be concerning if they get a Tailwind up. So I think I want to Shadow Ball Crunch the Pelipper. Crunch is going to come out of Pelipper, do a lot of damage. Looks like it's a modest Pelipper, so it will go down to the Golden Go that just outsped and KO'd the Pelipper, so that is nice. Archaludon probably Electroshotting here into Overquill or Golden Go. This really just depends on, can we survive? I think it depends heavily on spreads, so let's see. They actually Electroshot the Golden Go, which is actually better for me. Nice. As Golden Go is able to tank it pretty well. Let's see who they bring out next. Salamence could be a play if they have Intimidate. Getting rid of these flying types would be really good. For my Decidueye, we're going to see Kingambit though, which makes sense. Okay. I'm going for Crunch into Archaludon. I think my best play is to go Decidueye for the Kingambit slot, because this is always Sucker Punch. This should always be Sucker Punch, and I probably go down to Sucker Punch if it's Black Glasses, even if I Terra. I'm going to Decidueye. Also, if they double up that slot with Sucker Punch into Electro Shot, it works. No Sucker Punch, actually. Wow. Okay, I got to Crunch off into our Caldon for some really big damage. And we're going to see Electro Shot be fired off. Okay. Is this in an Overquill? I imagine it's in an Overquill. Did they just kowtow or did they Swords Dance? All right, Overquill went down. All right, so it has some special attack there. Swords Dance, okay. Not ideal. It's playable though. I'm going on a Pelipper. Who do I think is faster, Archaludon or Decidueye? That's a very, very good question. I get Tailwind and go for... I like the idea of Tailwind here, and I like the idea of triple arrows. I think it really depends. Can we knock out? Because they could Terra here with either Pokemon. I think I'm just going to go for the option into the Archaludon. Because we also have the chance for a flinch, which could be really good because King Gambit... Unless it has Iron Head, which usually the Swords Dance King Gambits forgo Iron Head, we should be able to get a... We should be able to survive one attack from the King Gambit. There's also a chance that our Caldon protects and the King Gambit goes for... Well, the King Gambit protects and our Caldon goes for Terra, which I could definitely see. All right, who's Terraing? Because this is actually kind of important. It was our Caldon. Okay. Into the Terra Fairy. I thought about potentially Weather Balling, but I don't know if Weather Ball would have KO'd. So let's see. They do protect the King Gambit, yeah. So they made the safest defensive play, which I do understand. We are able to go for the Tailwind. We do outspeed our Caldon with our Pelipper. That's good to know. Can we get a flinch here with the triple arrows? Would be nice. Good damage. We do get a defense drop. Stamina is gonna just bring it back to neutral though. We do get the flinch though. That is 2 side effects into 1. Incredible. And now I can go for a Weather Ball and the triple arrows here. And I am gonna triple arrows to King Gambit, which is incredible. Sucker Punch is gonna come out into the Focus Sash Pelipper. Would have been completely fine. Beautiful, beautiful. Triple arrows, clutch move here. Weather Ball gonna come out into the Archaludon. Does pick up the knockout into Archaludon, and then we'll get a triple arrows, knock out the King Gambit, and oh boy, when you're playing Decidueye, these arrows have some RNG on them. Triple arrows into the King Gambit. It's just so funny how this move works. Picks up the knockout on King Gambit, 4 times effective, so King Gambit goes down, and let's see who the final Pokemon will be. Maybe I should have sacked Gold earlier on to the Sucker Punch, but I wasn't sure if I needed the extra damage because as we saw from the Terra Fairy, Make It Rain could have still been valuable in this endgame, but maybe it's worth sacking just so I got the Shadow Ball if they went for a greedy play like the Sword Stance. But yeah, Amoonguss is the last. Yeah, no, I can just Hurricane. I can go for a Brave Bird because I also have Brave Bird. It also what it came down to, does our Caldon actually, you know, pick up a knockout? Does it go for Draco Meteor? Because if it goes for Draco Meteor, I think into the Decidueye, does it pick up the knockout? First of all, because that's a huge one. It is +2 Draco Meteor against Assault Vest Decidueye, so I have no clue on that calc realistically. If I survive, it's a Sucker Punch my in game with King Gambit, and I have to play around that. But they did at least use their Terra, which is at least a positive, so could have gone either way still, but definitely helped clutch it out. All right, let's go over the games. In game 1, Flower Trick did way more damage than I thought to Decidueye, but was able to tank the double up while doing massive damage to Volcarona and knock out the Meowscarada, which put my Golden Go under Rain into a fantastic spot, but I should have definitely Terra'd in the end. In game 2, the Rain Mirror is tough, especially with them having Archaludon, and even though we were able to take trades, it was still difficult to handle Archaludon, but the triple arrow secondary effect ended up on target for the gold victory. In game 3, did not expect the Choice Specs Dragapult to one-shot my Amoonguss, but I was able to apply heavy damage with Tailwind setup and position my Basculation to clean up the endgame with last respects. In game 4, side spam with Hisuian Braviary, but luckily I had a Dark type in Overquill and Golden Go that was able to help out. The Gallade surviving the Hurricane could have been tricky if they set up Trick Room, but since they attacked, the game was sealed. In game 5, double steal of Rain was difficult and the opponent made a great Sword Stance play. Triple Arrows was able to snipe another flinch onto an Arcalon, however, to put us in a fantastic spot. The game could have gone either way, still, even without the flinch, with Pelipper able to threaten heavy damage in the rain, but really was a huge help. Overall, Hisuian Decidueye I think has a lot of potential in this format, especially with the recent online tournaments. It seems that Hisuian Decidueye has actually been placing a decent amount at these tournaments, so I think it does have quite a bit of a niche role. That's scrappy, again, being able to hit Golden Go with fighting coverage, and very limited fighting coverage out there in the format. Seems like huge potential that is also just immune to Intimidate. It's fantastic overall. I do think that this original team might have a little bit of trouble against Arcalon. It's a bit weak to Arcalon, not the best ways to handle it, but overall, very solid. If you do want to try out the team, the rental code is on your screen. Hopefully it's still available by the time this video comes out. If you'd like to check out the details of the team and the creator, they'll be down below in the description. And of course, subscribe to the channel for more VGC content as always.